Revenge! We are the Yankees from way down south, and we are here, rowdy and proud. Obviously, I'm excited. What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and I mean, this was a really, really good game from us. Obviously, the first round, the first leg of the Eastern Conference Finals, 3-0 win at home, nice and comfy going into the second leg. The chances of them scoring 3 or 4 unanswered goals on us is pretty unlikely, at least for us. We had that one game against Houston at the beginning of the season where we gave up 4 goals, we didn't score any, but since then, we have been very difficult to stop, and most of the time, even if we are stopped, we don't give up anything, because most of the time that means we've packed it in. So, we are a team that's very dangerous on the counter, which means New York's going to have to prepare for that. It's going to be a difficult game for them. We have to make sure we don't do anything stupid. That's pretty much the only thing that we cannot do is something stupid to give away the game. Get a red card and now all of a sudden we're defending with 10 men. So, but all in all, it was a really good game, and mainly because I felt like we did a very good job of breaking their press. I saw a lot of people talking about, I can't believe New York changed their formation, or not their formation. I can't believe New York changed the way they play, the high press, blah, 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 going off on New York for changing the way they play. Here's the thing. They didn't change too much. They weren't pressing as high and as hard as they normally do, and I do think some of that is down to the fact that their left back, Lawrence, was not in the picture. He's a really good defender, and without him back there to keep that, that right side covered, it was very difficult for them to press high because they had to be a bit more focused defensively. But they still did press, and we just did a good job of breaking that press. We had defenders that are available. When we're in this kind of 3-5-2 formation, we have players available to move the ball. And so there were a lot of times when the press did come, we were able to just pass, and now the press is gone. And so when that started happening, you could see New York start to sit off a little bit because they saw we were breaking the press and they didn't want to keep pressing and then just wear themselves out, pressing the entire game and getting beat every time. So it was a little bit of both. I think people were giving too much crap to New York and the coach. They didn't change a whole lot. We did our job of making sure that press didn't beat us. So it was kind of a little bit of both. But aside from that, the other thing to talk about is, of course, the VAR decision to bring back New York School. First of all, do I have any sympathy for them? No. Because let's go back to the game that they won when they came here last time and look at the VAR decision to take back Joseph's goal. Here's the big thing for me. Whether you think the decisions were harsh, the biggest difference between these two decisions are the fact that in one case, when our goal was taken back, VAR was used incorrectly because the referee saw the challenge, he saw the coming together of Joseph and the defender, the AR saw it as well, they said no foul. We score, VAR says take a look at that again. They look at it again and decide, oh, never mind, now I think it's a foul. That's changing your objective opinion based on VAR, which is not right. You're not supposed to be able to do that. VAR is there for stuff that is clear and obvious that because they didn't see it. In this case, tonight, nobody saw the guy that was standing there. The AR didn't see it, the referee missed it, they did not see that decision, and then the referee goes and looks at it, sees the guy standing offside, decides, you know what, he is obstructing the keeper's view, and decides to call that offside. Now, for me personally, it's a little bit harsh. He is sort of in the way. He's enough in the way that maybe you put him off a little bit. And when you do slow it down, you can see Brad reacts a little bit late. So there is an argument to be made there for that. But here's the thing. They used it correctly. The referee saw that and made a decision based on what he saw in VAR that's offsides. It wasn't he made a decision on the field and then VAR showed him something, a different angle on it, and then he's like, oh, never mind, I'm changing my previous decision. This was something they had missed, something that nobody made a decision on, and then they made the decision after VAR. So, that is why, in my opinion, there's a lot to be frustrated with this referee on both sides, no doubt. You can look at some of the decisions that went our way. The biggest one, I think, that went against us was the fact that Murillo completely unpunished on that one challenge on Garza studs up about thigh high on Garza, and yeah, he wins the ball. Congratulations. You can't go studs up on a player like that. It's a high challenge. His studs are showing. It should at least be a yellow. It's borderline red. Nothing. So there was stuff on both sides that the referee did poorly, but in that case, whether you think it's a harsh decision or not, the VAR made the right decision. It told him about what was going on. He had a chance to look at it, and he made his decision based on that. End of discussion. So, obviously, if you disagree with me, you can tell me all about it in the comment section. I'll just tell you why you're wrong. Winners write history, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, let's talk about our team, though, because it was a very good performance overall. You know, we had a lot of players playing very well, once again keeping this momentum that we've had even since the past two New York City games, and it's probably the best we've looked all season. And a lot is down to the formation, but there are some players that showed out. So first of all, let's start with Brad in goal. Didn't have a whole lot to do as far as making saves. He had to make a couple, but the biggest thing for me, he's very, very quick to start the counter, and it's huge. You know, corner, cross, something comes in, shot comes in, grabs it, and instantly eyes are up. What's open? What's over here? You're on, go. And throws it to him, and the counter text on. He's just so good about seeing that and so good about finding it quickly. And some keepers don't do that. Some keepers don't see that type of thing. So the fact that he's always looking, he's constantly trying to get us off on the counter and give us a chance to go score a goal. Once again, it's kind of going back to what I was saying earlier. It's going to be difficult for New York to just all-out attack us and try to score, because when you've got a keeper like that can start the counterattack so quickly, you can't just fly forward. In the defense, the back three is a back three we've seen before. Perez, Parkhurst in the middle, and Laurentowicz. All three of them played well. Of the three, I'd say Leandro was probably the one that was a little bit off. And not because of anything he did poor defensively, but his passing sometimes can be a little bit sloppy. You know, just kind of giving it away, not really finding his target. Whereas if Jeff or Michael end up with a giveaway, most of the time it's because they're sending it long, they're trying to find somebody. Those are pretty much the only giveaways I ever see them do. I don't ever see them like, oh, let me make this pass, and then it's a bad pass and give it away. If it happens, it's like once or twice a game. With Leandro, it's 5 or 6 times a game, and it can get a little bit scary sometimes whenever you give it away and you know New York is waiting for that and they're going to come back at you. Sometimes it can be a little bit nerve-wracking. But aside from that, you know, they were all very solid. Aside from like 1 or 2 mistakes throughout the entire game, I didn't see anything wrong. So I still like this back three. I think having Michael in the middle of it allows him to read the game, and he does that very well. The only problem I have with this is there are going to be times whenever that speed up top, if you have Jeff and Michael both back there, if the other team has some speed, it's going to hurt you a little bit. And I think that's why Miles was such a good player to have in the New York City game, because he was able to keep up with that speed. And, you know, if that was ever a problem, he was there to help rectify it. So maybe something to look at. You know, Bradley Wright Phillips is not the fastest player, so it's not something we have to worry about, I don't think, for New York. But, you know, if we end up facing Sporting Kansas City, they've got that guy up top, Sheldon, I think. I was watching the SKC and Portland game. He can fly. So there's a good chance we might need Miles to be there again to sort of make up for that pace up top. Anyway, but yeah, that's all for the back three. The fullbacks, the wingbacks, whatever you want to call them, Greg and Franco, both of them had good games. Greg got subbed out, possibly a little bit of something, looked like he might have cramped up. But I thought he played well overall. Defensively, he's still doing his job fairly well. But on the attack, you know, he's providing that space out wide. He keeps the ball moving very quickly. He's a very clever player as well. So he's a very, very good player to have. And then Franco, it's like ever since he started playing that fullback / wingback position for the past 5 or 6 games, he's looked such a better player because of it. He was honestly a player that for me was doing some things well and then kind of fading out in other games. And I was kind of concerned. You know, I was concerned that he was just going to slowly fade away and just not be effective at all. But he's really stepped it up. Scoring the goal as well, just another testament to how well he's done in this position. Yeah, I mean it was a good game from him, and the fact that he was able to go up against whatever the guy's name, Lade, I think was his name. The fact that he was able to go up against him and just tear him apart as well, it kind of built that confidence level. So I'm hoping he can take that confidence to New York, and if they do get Lawrence back on that left side, I'm hoping he can take that confidence and take it to him as well, and kind of put some pressure on him, just so he's not able to boom forward as much. Now he has to actually stay back and focus on Franco. And then in the midfield, once again, that midfield three of Eric, Darlington, and Julian in front of them. Eric, for me, has probably been the best player in our postseason so far. I mean, obviously, everybody's been playing pretty well, especially over the two New York City games and tonight. But Eric, for me, has just stepped it up so much. He battles in the midfield. He works hard to shut down passing lanes. If anybody picks up the ball in the midfield, he's constantly stepping in and just instantly putting in a challenge so they're not able to just freely run. He's been working his butt off. In the New York City games, he had to shut down Maxi Morales, which he did pretty well. It was just a testament to how much work he's been putting in. It's been fantastic to watch. It's been no problem. It was whatever. Guy's got the ball. I'm gonna go track him down. I'm gonna put him to task. He's not gonna be able to play. So I've loved watching Eric work over these past few games. He's done such a good job for us in there. On the ball, maybe a little bit quicker at times, but overall, I mean, he keeps the ball. He keeps possession very well, so that's not really an issue for him either. Nagby, not much of a defensive player sometimes. There are moments when it feels like he should be working back a bit harder, but I mean, he does the work well enough, I guess. Just he puts in a challenge if he needs to. He makes sure they don't have time and space to just run if he's in that position. The only problem I ever have is just that if he's behind the play, he's just not always working hard to get back in front of it. But I don't think that'll be a problem in the next game because we'll probably be sitting back a bit more. But on the ball, he's still very clever. He's quick with the turn. There are moments when it feels like he's beat. They're about to steal the ball off him, and all of a sudden, whoop, and he's gone. So, love having him in the midfield. I do not know what Bruce Arena was thinking, putting him on the wing, or I don't remember Portland, if they were playing him on the wings or not. But he's clearly a midfielder. The way he plays, he's so good at just the quick turn and distributing. And then Julian in front of those three. The only one that I think had an average performance tonight, he still had some good moments. Obviously, the setup for the second goal, it was a nice cutback. It was dangerous. Joseph leaves it for Franco on the far side. I'm not really sure if he intended to play it all the way across to Franco or if he was trying to cut it back for Joseph. But it was still a dangerous cutback no matter what. But the biggest problem I have with him in tonight's game is just the fact that there are moments where it feels like his touch lets him down in the midfield. It's too loose. There are a couple. The one that Robles ended up making a pretty good save, which it might have been a penalty. If it weren't a keeper, definitely would have been a penalty because he went straight through the player to get the ball. But it all starts though whenever that ball comes in and that long touch just puts him in a position where now he's got to go chase it down and it gives the keeper a chance to get there. Whereas if he has a better touch, he keeps it under control and now he can have a shot. So it's kind of like he has a couple moments, nice quick turn, finds a good pass. Then he has some moments where it's a bad giveaway or it's a bad touch. So he's such a divisive player for me personally. I know most Atlanta fans love him. I'm still split. Whenever he doesn't play on that right side where Franco's playing tonight, if he's not playing out there, I'm so torn because there are just some moments where I'm just like, he's not a midfielder. Clearly he's not a midfielder. But then he does something good. I'm like, oh, okay, well, good job, Julian. But then he does something bad. Anyways, and then up top, Miguel and Joseph again. Both of them just so much speed, so much just quickness to get to the ball and cause problems for the defense. At first it seemed like maybe we were going to have some trouble, maybe wouldn't be able to put any pressure on the defense because it just felt like we couldn't find them with our passes. But eventually New York started coming at us a little bit more, and then they had time and space. And at that point, it's just like, okay, so when's it going to happen? And then a great ball in from Jeff to set up Joseph. For the second goal, Miguel, great ball to Julian that he can cut back across. Good lead by Joseph. I mean, it was a really stellar performance from both of them. I thought they both put in a good shift, and on top of that, you put us up 2-0, and now you get to rest for the next game because we're gonna need them to go pretty hard for the next game because we need to make sure we get some goals, at least one. Now they have to score 4 if we get 1 goal. No, they have to score 5. I apologize. So, yeah, going into the next game, we definitely needed to give them a little bit of a rest, a little bit of a chance to just get their legs back so that way Thursday they can go hard again and put pressure on the defense and cause New York to make some slip-ups. So, with all that being said, we look at the subs that came on. Pretty good subs, I think. You bring on Tito for Joseph, so now Joseph gets a bit of a chance to rest and Tito gets a run out. Chris comes on for Greg because, like I said, I think Greg had some sort of cramp going on, so maybe just resting his legs. And then Ezekiel comes on for Miguel, and he's just, give him a little bit of a run out. All 3 of them I thought did pretty well. Tito, I'm so glad he got the goal. And you could tell how much it meant to him as well because he really hasn't been playing that well. Whenever he comes on, first of all, the fact that he's been a sub for quite a while now, it's probably going to be frustrating for him. Because I don't think he thinks he's a sub player. I think he thinks he deserves to start. And there are times when it looks like he probably should. But the way the team is playing, especially in the past 2 games against New York City, you got to go with the same lineup. You got to keep things the same going into this. So you can kind of understand Tata's side of it as well. But the fact that he comes on, he works hard, creates some chances, nearly scores. It's just like that so close moment. It's just, you want him to score, you want him to finish all the hard work that he's put in, and then finally picks it up top of the box, puts it out wide, and so sweet. From our position, because we sit straight across from the fan section, from where we were sitting, perfect angle to just see it just swerve back in. Oh, it was beautifully struck. So, yeah, I mean, great to see him get the goal, great to see what it meant for him as well. And it was the nice icing on the cake that just sort of put the game to bed and almost puts the series to bed. I mean, obviously it's not over yet. We still have to put in a shift at New York. But I think that just helps us go in with so much more confidence that we've got the tie under control. It's not going to be a problem. As far as Chris and Ezekiel are concerned, both of them, they did their job well. Chris, I think the biggest thing for him coming in was just don't let anything come down that left side, and he didn't. Especially in the air, he's better than Greg in the air because he's taller. So anytime they tried to go over top of him, it just wasn't working. Ezekiel had a couple good moments here and there. I think the biggest problem I have, though, is, and honestly the reason why he's not starting right now, is because we are such a counterattack setup team. So it's like he doesn't fit our style right now. Because even though we can play, we can move the ball around, and probably if we end up facing a team like Portland who knows how to pack it in, we'll probably need him because we're not really going to be counterattacking as much on Portland. But when you're facing a team like New York that is going to come at you a little bit, is going to try to press you a bit higher, and then you get that past that first press, and now you've got space to run at them, Ezekiel's not that type of player. He's the type of player that's going to slow it down. The one where it goes through to him, and it's just him and Tito with 2 defenders. It feels like that should be a goal. That should be your moment to finish it off. But what does he do? He takes it out wide, and then he gets pressure, and he pulls it back, and now they've got 4 defenders back. And that's the biggest reason why I think he hasn't been featuring as much for us. But overall, he still plays well. He still works hard, and on the ball, he's very, very clever. He really puts some defender on the butts. So, yeah, it's nice to watch him play, but like I said, he's not fitting our style, at least whenever we play against the top teams. So it's going to be difficult for him to get into it. But he's a good player to put on for the last part of it. Just some fresh legs to really go. Whenever they have the ball, he's willing to run at them. He's willing to put them under pressure, and that's very good for an attacking player. So I'm happy with him overall. And I mean, that's pretty much it. Overall, this was a good game. This was a fantastic performance from the team, and I'm excited. It feels like we're there. we've got to just get through 90 minutes at Red Bull Arena. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Just do your job. Make sure you don't do anything stupid. Nobody gets sent off. Just go in, finish the game off. Bada bing, bada boom. We're done. Bring the final back to Atlanta because we are ahead of Sporting KC and Portland, which means no matter who we have to face, it's coming to Atlanta. And that's exciting. The MLS Playoff Cup is going to be held in Atlanta with, all 70-something thousand. It's going to be a big game. And we're going to turn up. We're going to be heard. It's going to be so loud. It's going to be so noisy. We're going to be behind the players all the way. It's going to be good. And I'm super excited to see it. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on tonight's game? What are your thoughts going into Thursday's game? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Atlanta United reviews. And I'll see you guys in the next game. Peace out.